DFS podcast with hosts Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS podcast. We are recording here for Monday's 8-game main slate. This is our first look here on Monday's 8-game slate. James Grande will be on the playbook. We'll be back live 5 o'clock Eastern time to give you all the updated news, lineup breakdowns, and information that all of you need. But you'll get our first takes on everything that is this 8-gamer right here. James, how was your weekend, my good guy?
Weekend was all right. Happy Monday, per usual. A lot of preparation for the baby that is soon to be here. So good to turn the page back to some sports as I, took a couple days off, and I did the Valley Vault on Sunday. But other than that, only some late night corrupt boxing was watched this weekend, John, because that's usually how it goes in boxing.
I didn't catch any of the boxing or MMA this weekend. So.
Oh, yeah, I did watch some MMA. Tom Aspinall looks...
I saw the highlights. I'm not
John Jones will retire before he faces Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, you think so?
Yes, I do. But good weekend. Ready to get into everything here for Monday slate.
Yep. Before we jump into everything, again, shout out to our friends over at Real Time Fantasy Sports. Go to rtsports.com/alarm. Promo code alarm23 will get new users a 100% deposit match up to $200 there. A lot of great opportunities over at RT Sports right now. They have the DFS Pick'em game there, whether it be for the MLB, PGA, NBA, NFL, everything that they have covered, NBA, everything they have covered over there. They have a DFS Pick'em prop game. You can pick a handful of props, have an opportunity to win up to 40x your money, which is a great opportunity there. And, of course, they have all of the best ball leagues going on right now for fantasy football season that's here, season-long leagues for fantasy football. So I got to check out everything that's going on over at Real Time Fantasy Sports there, James.
Yeah, and please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yep, 1-800-GAMBLER for those who need a little assistance. That said, let's turn over to the DraftKings main slate here. We got, again, 8 games on the board that we're looking to break down here. Some pretty interesting matchups. So I look over Vegas totals here, James. Give us our spreads and totals to pay attention to.
Yeah, totals we're paying attention to 7.5 implied runs, Seattle, Minnesota, slight lean on the over there that opened at 8. 9 implied runs in Cincinnati, Milwaukee. I wouldn't be surprised to see that hit 9.5, 10 by open. Graham Ashcraft versus Colin Ray. 8.5 in Texas, Houston. 8.5 in Pittsburgh, San Diego. Slate high 9.5 in Toronto, LA. Jose Berrios versus Michael Grove. Good luck taming the Dodgers offense right now, Jose Berrios. They have been quite incredible, especially Freddie Freeman specifically. So, nothing stands out too much there in terms of totals, money lines. Minus 190 for the Cleveland Guardians, Logan T. Allen versus Ryan Yarbrough of the Kansas City Royals there. Minus 245 are the San Diego Padres taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yu Darvish in that one taking them out of the Pirates. Only 2 notable, at least real noticeable money lines in that on the slate.
Let's get into it. Again, 8 games here, breaking it down, giving our favorite pitchers. Luis Castillo on the mound here against Minnesota, a team that we have both attacked and then stacked, depending on the night on who's the mound. Luis Castillo, last I checked, is not Lance Lynn, despite both of their names beginning with the letter L. But this man has a home run problem too here.
He does.
So I got to ask you, man, at 10-6, we know the strikeout upside. He just had 11 Ks. He faced Minnesota last time out. 2 more home runs allowed, though, for Luis Castillo here. We saw what they hang 5 homers on Lynn on Friday. Are you willing to spend 10-6 on a guy that could get lit up here, given this propensity for the home run ball?
Yeah, I'm okay getting there. Like you mentioned, the strikeout upside is what it is here in the spot. Minnesota strikes out more than anyone against right-handed pitching. There is definitely an issue. I'm not disputing that. I think Minnesota could get to him again. 13 home runs in his last 10 starts. So he had 6 allowed in his first 10 starts. He's now allowed 13 in his last 10. Like, there has clearly been something going on. I think there are plenty of guys you can get to if you're not spending up Luis Castillo. I think going right down to the next name, Darvish, coming off pretty good starts in back-to-back outings, 27 and 29 fantasy points against Philly and Toronto is a good pivot. So you get Darvish against Pittsburgh in a dream spot. So
we thought that about Ohtani.
Sure. Thought that about Ohtani. Thought that same slate. Thought that about Framber, and they both got lit up. So I'm hard pressed not to, if I'm pivoting off Castillo, just go right to Darvish. And a couple other names we're gonna get to, but I'm okay getting to Castillo. But you also look at things. Darvish has had a higher ceiling of late, and it's $1,200 cheaper.
Yeah, 100%. Just throwing out there, the lefties not as nearly as effective against Castillo as Lynn, but it's still the lefties that are doing the damage against him here when it comes to sort of the matchup that he has. The .455 slugging percentage against 12 home runs allowed to left-handed bats on the year, almost 2 home runs per 9 to lefties. So we know Minnesota can roll 7-8 lefties out there. So something to pay attention to if you're looking to spend up for Luis Castillo. After we get by those top group, we look in the mid-tier here. You've been a Logan Allen guy all year long. Gets Kansas City. He faced Kansas City, only went 3 2/3, 98 pitches. It took him in 3 2/3, but no shutout, 5 Ks. I know lefties, Kansas City has some guys that can do some damage, but do you like Logan Allen here? Are you worried about the inefficiency, or do you think you'd be willing to go back to the well?
Yeah, he got sent down because of that start. Right. He was sent down because he was walking too many people, he was throwing too many pitches, and then he gets recalled up, and he looked great in the Pittsburgh start, and probably could have gone further. 77 pitches in 5 innings. They're going to have to rely on this guy if they want. And we're going to find out what they are at the deadline. There's no Bieber. There's no McKenzie. Right. Quantrill's not pitching. We don't know what they're going to do. I'd assume they're more on the selling side because Minnesota's kind of been winning a lot and taking kind of a stranglehold of the division. So we'll see. Because if they don't need Logan T. Allen to, make a playoff push, they're not going to push him, I don't think, because he's already going to come up on his innings cap, 67 innings. I don't know what his minor league high of innings is, but why force too many innings on him? 5 innings, 77 pitches, an indication that they're not willing to. It was a 10-1 game.
They were up a ton of runs too, so
there could have been there are a lot of factors fresh out of the break, people are still, their bullpen's still fresh. So there's a lot of factors. I'm good to get Logan T. Allen, even looking at Kansas City's numbers. 24% strikeout rate against lefties this year. That's the 7th highest mark in the league. 693 team OPS. And, you mentioned that there are some guys that are better, but still, yes, Bobby Witt is great. And
Bobby Witt hasn't had a hit in 3 weeks. So he's 0 for 24 or something like that.
Yeah, it's not great right now. So he had 2 hits back-to-back games against the
there you go. He
snapped out of it. But they're still 23rd in OPS as a team against lefty. So yeah, I'm more than willing to get to Logan T. Allen. He's definitely one of my top plays in the next year.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Anybody else? We have Patrick Corbin over 6K. It feels like it's happened twice this year. We've had Patrick Corbin over $6,000.
Yeah.
He's
been better.
Home against Colorado. He's had 3 good starts of the last 4. Is it a Patrick Corbin start? Look at this: 9, 6, and 6 strikeouts in those 3 starts. Again, he got rocked by Cincy, but 7 innings of 1. How many lineups got busted by Patrick Corbin against Texas?
I know,
right?
Many lineups.
So 7 shutout against Seattle. Would you throw?
Don't say
Would you build a lineup around Patrick Corbin on this slate?
Not around Patrick Corbin, but including Patrick Corbin, I may. Because there's not a lot. Like, he's been good. We know Colorado is they're 28th in the league against right-handed pitching in terms of OPS.
Left-handed pitching?
Left-handed pitching, sorry. Yeah. And then they have a 26.3% strikeout rate, which I feel like kind of has crept up on that. Like, that number has like crept up slowly. So they're third highest strikeout rate in the league now, right, only behind Milwaukee and Seattle against lefties. So yeah, I could get behind Corbin. I can also maybe take a look at Ryan Nelson, who's definitely been better of late. I know the offense in St. Louis is pretty good. So is Atlanta's, and so is Toronto's, and so is the Angels, and so is the Giants. And 4 of the last 5 starts outside of the Mets start, Ryan Nelson's been pretty good. 3 of his last 5, he's ended up with 23 plus fantasy points. So maybe Ryan Nelson. And then one guy that we skipped over, 8,600, Kenta Maeda. You talk about strikeouts in a matchup. I know like he's going up against Luis Castillo, but he just did. And 6 1/3, 9 strikeouts, 2 earned over that span. It's 26 fantasy points. He's now gone for 26 or more fantasy points in 3 of his last 5 starts. Yeah. Talk about a GPP darling at 8,600. So other than like the top 3 that we mentioned, Maeda, Corbin, and Ryan Nelson make my player pool.
Last guy, I'm just gonna spit his name out. You can just say yes or no if you want. But we talk a lot about the Toronto lineup. Michael Grove is on the mound. Michael Grove gets hammered by lefties, and Toronto doesn't really have any. So,
no, they don't have any.
So, I mean, Michael Grove was once a top prospect in baseball, got brought to the major leagues and just been shelled. A couple recent outings have been okay. Too risky for you? Doesn't on a slate like this? Don't need to go there. I mean, where are you with Michael Grove here? You just connect your headphones.
I can't hear you. I pulled my headphones out.
You unplugged your headphone. What a professional!
I sure did. That was a professional move.
Yeah.
It's the new set. I have a little new setup, so like I'm just the way that my arm came down on my wire.
That's fine. So Michael Grove, no lefties
Grove
in Toronto.
Right.
Do you give him a look at 63 or no need to go there on the slate?
So lefty's hitting 324 with a 549 slug.
Oh yeah, lefties are hammered. Kevin Biggio will probably be in my lineup if I don't play Grove. So
righties are hitting 275 with a 477 slug and a 332 WOBA. So like still not great.
Right.
Righties are also averaging 1.6 home runs per 9 innings. The peripheral numbers look a little better for him against righties.
Home ERA is a lot better than it is away. 4.83 versus 8.5.
Oh my god, over a 2.2 whip on the road. What are we doing? Look at the stats though. Like, how deceiving is this? 8 home runs allowed at home, but like 4 earned runs better. Like,
I know.
What a weird.
He's giving up 20 runs in 20 innings on the road. So,
I mean, like you're
you
not
can say
wrong.
no. I'm just throwing a name that I don't think many people would consider, probably maybe for good reasons or not. But, again, Toronto's been a super frustrating team this year offensively. They have no left. Kevin Biggio, Kevin Kiermaier, and Dalton Varsho.
Brandon Bell.
Like
those are their 4 lefties.
Are you stacking those 4 lefties tomorrow against Grove? I mean, like,
no, like if you're playing lefties, you're one-offing those people. Right. But it's like, it's hard to like. And I know Belt homered on Sunday in a great spot.
You can play Belt and Biggio together because Biggio will hit 9th and Belt will hit like 3rd. But like,
Biggio's actually been kind of good. It's been split. Like, he hasn't played a lot, but he's been hitting 350 over his last 10 games. Now 20 at bats.
Good player. They just gotta get him.
No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not.
Gotta get him in the lineup. All right, we've probably spent way too much time on Michael Grove here, but I just wanted to. Because, again, his last start, I remember stacking against in Baltimore. He pitched well.
I sure did. I think we couldn't have been more like, please stack against Michael Grove. And
we played all the lefties that day, and nothing came through there. So, just, again, former top prospect, got shelled early on in his career here. But, anyways, not to waste any more time on Michael Grove for anybody, but just mentioning his name. If he pops up tomorrow and has another 5-inning winner, and just remember you heard it here. All right, let's go to hitters. Talk to me about your favorite infielders, top price guys.
Freddie Freeman, hottest hitter in baseball right now, doesn't need a lot of introduction.
What was the stat the other day? He's the first player before the trade deadline to hit like 20 homers, 10 stolen bases, like 35 doubles, maybe. Like it was like
85 runs, 70 RBIs.
No,
or something.
There was a stat that a milestone stat that he's like the first player to ever hit these milestones before the MLB trade deadline. Again, just something kind of crazy to think about, as you mentioned how hot he is. I mean, he is
first player ever. First player in Dodgers history with 20 home runs and 35 doubles before August.
Okay. Yeah, something crazy. And there was another one that had like 10 stolen bases.
Oh, yep, yeah. It's first player in MLB history to record 20 home runs, 35 doubles, 125 hits, 10 stolen bases, and 40 walks before August.
Again.
That's insane.
Again, like obviously super specific to all of his statistics here, but also no player in history has had those numbers combined in one season before August.
He almost has 50 walks, by the way. Not like they said 40 in that. Like they could have just went like 48. Like they shorted him like a lot of walks. Like it's almost 50 walks.
I wonder if he's still upset he left Atlanta.
Yeah, seems that he's going to win the NL MVP.
Yeah. Second MVP, right? Because he won it with Atlanta during the COVID year, right? So
yeah, he's going to win it, and if they continue to, when they end up with Ohtani, they're also going to win the World Series. So Freeman, number one, infield play with a bullet.
We have to play all of Arizona, right?
All of Arizona, yeah.
Sorry, Adam.
Any living, yeah. I mean, great pitcher for a long time, but like Adam Wainwright is making his return against Arizona. Like Ketel Marte has been a freaking monster of late. He was a slate winner over the weekend. 40 fantasy points. Follows it up with just casual 2 for 2 with 3 walks. Like if the 290, 17 home runs, 55 ribbies now for Ketel Marte. So he's a top play. If you're not playing Michael Grove, perfectly fine getting to Vladdy. We know he is a dog against right-handed pitching. And then Willy Adames gets his split, John. Graham Ashcraft, righty in Milwaukee. That's where we play Willy Adames. And Graham Ashcraft has been bad against righties. So
they got to have some EVP probably, right?
3 for 11, 2 home runs. Okay. So not surprising. And just to for Adames truthers out there, 11 home runs in American Family Field, formerly Miller Park, and 332 WOBA. I don't know how many home runs he's hit officially this year, but 11 home runs have come at home. That's a lot of home runs.
Yeah, I like that. What am I looking at here? Are we getting an opener for Allen? Did something update on your end here, or is? Oh no, never mind. I was just confused. So Yarbrough is pitching for Kansas City. So
Yarbrough is pitching for.
So Kansas I was looking at Jimenez, and I'm like, why does it say Yarbrough? I thought it was supposed to be Allen. They're on the same team, John. That's why. Jimenez hits lefties. Talk about some mid-tier value
Jimenez
guys
does
here.
hit lefties.
I know that Cleveland's sort of starting to slump a little bit, but he did homer on Sunday, so could go him against Yarbrough. I think I pitched Yarbrough against Cleveland the last time.
I think you did too. I think you did too.
Fairly well. He got taken out of that game eventually, but pitched fairly well. Houston against Gray. John Gray has been really bad lately. You look at 4 1/3 against Tampa Bay, pitched mildly okay there. We got taken out of that game. But then Cleveland, Boston, Houston all hammered them again. So if you want to go Houston bats in the infield, Pena, Bregman, Dubon, all guys that you can take pieces of here.
Dude, Houston has been kind of crushing baseballs. They did all weekend. Kyle Tucker obviously had an
3 homer
amazing
day
weekend.
Yeah.
Bregman has home runs in 3 straight games before Sunday as well. Yanier Diaz had a game-tying home run on Sunday. He broke out of a little slump there. We know Abreu's been, pretty good of late. So all of Houston and some of those options are really cheap. Bregman's been priced up pretty high, 5,400, but the rest of the infield's been pretty good.
And the last team I'll just mention, because I say them every slate here, we can stack Washington.
Yeah, Abrams leading off. We're never gonna say CJ Abrams not leading off again.
No, but Carl Kaufman is pitching.
Dude, he is the worst pitcher.
He's got 10 ERA this year.
He's the worst pitcher of all time.
Now he won't pitch the full game, but
but Colorado's bullpen is terrible.
The fact that Abrams is still only $3,600. Candelario is under $4,000 here. He is $4,000 rather. Meneses, is he still free?
Exactly. Yep.
What? What'd you say?
He was exactly 4,000.
Yeah. Meneses is $3,700. So, and then the forgotten man, Kybert Ruiz, is $3,800. So, you can play all of Washington. They're so good, and nobody plays them. Just hilarious. So yeah, that's where I'm at in the infield. Any guys I didn't mention that you're in
on? Edward Julian, Alex Kirilloff, if you want to play lefty power against Luis Castillo, who's given up all those home runs. Brennan Donovan continues to be awesome for St. Louis, hitting atop the lineup, and I don't really know why he's priced the way he's been. I know he went over. He was hitting over 300 before that over, as per sample size. You go for 5.
What did I tell you about Henry Davis?
But he's hit
today, right?
Right. Yeah, now Henry Davis has 10 home runs in the last.
The only player to have 2 home runs in the same game off of Ohtani.
Didn't Jonah Heim do it last year? Didn't our boy Jonah Heim do it last year?
The only player to have this 2 homers. Right here. Yeah. He's the first player to homer twice in the same game off Ohtani.
Oh, okay. I swore Jonah Heim did it last year.
He just had a grand slam and hurt our soul. He might have homered again later in that game. But
Okay. That might have been
Henry Davis back up to 280. Just everybody freaked out.
Yeah, Henry Davis, but Julian's still hitting near 500 his last 10, and Kirilloff's still free.
All right, outfield again, a lot of top end talent here. Tatis gets Priester. We haven't really talked much San Diego here, but Priester wasn't very good in that first start.
No, he was not. No,
he's 64. Tucker's 62. Corbin Carroll against Adam Wainwright is $6,000. Soto's 55. Yelich is still in a great spot against Ashcraft here at 53. Hard to really not like this outfield here. Of course, Byron Buxton homers twice off Lance Lynn. Didn't play him, though. I played the lefties. Buxton homered twice.
Yeah. I mean, he also has 21 strikeouts over his last 10. He has 4 hits and 21 strikeouts in his last 10 games.
So, anyway, talk to me about these top guys I mentioned. Obviously, you're in on all of them, but is it just a sense of who I'm stacking, or do you have a clear cut? This is my core play of the day.
Corbin Carroll, number 1. Kyle Tucker, number 2. And then Tatis / Soto, 3. I think Tucker, I've said this continuously, when he's playing well, you just play him. They went into Friday's game in triple dongs, and then Corbin Carroll has home runs in back-to-back in 2 of 3 or 3 of 4. Now the power stroke for him after kind of disappearing for a little bit is back. Forget it, dude. If Corbin Carroll is hitting home runs, we know the stolen bases are going to be there. He has 29 in the year. So against Wainwright, it's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, it's we've said that a bunch, and obviously it's baseball. It doesn't work out. I mean, dude, Wainwright's been
the Rangers got shut out by Corbin. So it definitely doesn't always work out. But more often than not, it works out.
It doesn't unless you're looking at Adam Wainwright.
Sure.
Poor guy.
If you're not going Grove, I think we said it already, but you can play Toronto guys. So Bichette, Vladdy, Springer here definitely can be used in lineups. My favorite player, Lane Thomas, today had 4 stolen bases, 37 fantasy points. I don't even think he was a base stealer, but now he's at 12 after having 4 today. 16 homers on the year, and
1/3.
Yeah, third of his stolen bases came in one game today. So I'm in on Lane Thomas there. You can go the Cincy outfield if you'd like. Lourdes is at 45 there as well. Let's see. What's your next outfield play here?
Next outfield play, I kind of just went to the value section. Arizona has really good cheap value. Alec Thomas hitting ninth. Dominic Canzone, who hit 17 home runs at AAA. He's 2,200. He gets Wainwright
So you went
there.
way
McCarthy
down.
31. So all of Arizona. Yeah, and then
Benson
Frelick
Benson 3K, Frelick's 3K. Everybody saw Sal Frelick's debut the other day. Big ups on him, and Will Benson just keeps on keeping on. I mean, for the other day off on Sunday, but he's been like home runs and stolen bases out of that guy. So I'm with you there. A lot of great value in the outfield here. What are your thoughts on Belak? If Texas can, obviously Seager's in the IL, Adolis didn't play today. If that lineup's continuing to miss guys, any interest in Belak, or the rest of that lineup's still good enough to shut him down?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a good point. He's been good. I mean, double-digit fantasy points in 3 straight games, 2 of which he's hit 20. And he's had, 5 20 fantasy point games this year? 4 20 fantasy point games this year? That's in 12 starts, so a third of his starts. He's 7,800. I don't strongly dislike it. Like, it's not... They do have a good lineup regardless. Like, Semien, Jung, Heim, Nathaniel Lowe, Duran, Garver. Like, it's a deep lineup, Tavares. But, I'd have mild interest if there's no...
All right, let's build the lineup here. And then, again, everybody, we're going to go back live, 5 o'clock Eastern time. We'll answer your questions, so make sure you tune in and join us for all of that fun, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Starting our pitching here, we like Logan Allen, right? 8,700.
I like Darvish more, but if we wanted to start with Logan Allen,
Darvish. There's plenty of value. We can play them both, or did you want to go to Corbin as a value?
I had Corbin just to see what we could do.
Darvish and Corbin it is. Catcher. Where'd you go?
I didn't, but Kyber's 38, and I want to pick on Hoffman, so that's probably the...
Did you want to go after Grove? Go belt at 3,100, or did you want to spend up? Freeman?
I'd be hard-pressed not to get Freeman, yeah. I think he's the top. I mean, we'll see, because, do we want to play Freeman one-off and not end up getting Arizona, right? Because, Marte Corbin is probably the stack we want to go.
Freeman Carroll has 3,400 a player for the rest of the position. And you said there was 2K outfielders, right? Like Alec Thomas.
Yeah, Alec Thomas, Canzone, Benson, and Frelick are both 3K. There's plenty of cheap options. Do we want to go there?
Well, I think we did. I think for me, when it comes to building lineups, I'm probably going Washington, Arizona on this slate. So, but we can probably still fit the one-offs here. Alec Thomas has been really good. 2,800. Benson was 3K. Just to throw him in there, that's 3,800. You like Marte?
Shortstop, we're definitely playing CJ Abrams, 3,600.
Abrams. There are $2,300 third baseman that's on the floating around here. Nicky Lopez. Let's see. Let's go off of Kyber. Let's see if we can get cheaper.
I'm looking to see if we can get to somebody specifically. I don't see Eugenio is 2,900. If that's about the cheapest guy we probably should look at. Emmanuel Rivera, he's kind of been bad. Longoria was in the lineup Sunday. He went 0 for again. He's kind of been bad.
Let's get off that.
Third base feels like a position we might need to spend up on, John. I don't know if there's a third base. Ezekiel Duran is now third base eligible. Sure. He's third, but he's $3,200.
I got it. Suarez works for me. I got Kevin Biggio in the outfield. So we got Darvish, Corbin, Ruiz, Freeman, Marte, Suarez, Abrams, Carroll, Thomas, and Kevin Biggio there as an example lineup. Again, James and I will be back live at 5 o'clock Eastern time. We'll update the lineups. We'll update the news. We'll get you guys ready and set to dominate this 8-game Monday slate. James on the playbook. Get the All-Pro package. FantasyAlarm.com/All-Pro. Promo code MLB50 saves you 50% off